Hi Adele, thank you for your time today. It's great to talk to you again. Just for the audience's purpose, could you please provide like a quick introduction about your background and any current roles that you're currently working on right now?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a founder of a design and development agency. We started out in London, and yeah, now we work with global clients. So we provide branding, website design, product design, and development for startups and small businesses.
Yeah. And could you maybe share one of the recent case studies or companies that you've currently completed a project for?
Yeah, so recently I've been working a lot with influencer marketing companies specifically. So there's been three recently in that category. So instead of like a traditional marketing agency, they work with influencers and social media specifically. So yeah, that's what's kind of been going on with Cultura at the moment.
Nice, nice. And with like a project, so I guess it's dependent because there's three main areas that your skills and services are. I guess it's dependent upon the size, but what would you say is the normal like timeline of completion if it's like web development or product design or
Yeah.
some branding exercise?
So obviously every client is different. I'd say the one that's most difficult to estimate is product design. That is very open-ended and it's best to do that on a sort of retainer basis. But in terms of branding, I would say typically for branding, I like to schedule in 3 to 4 weeks for branding. Some companies want like a faster turnaround, which we can do within 2 weeks as well, but the 3 to 4 weeks just gives time for, extra feedback and revision rounds and that sort of thing. But for website design and development, I usually will schedule in between 8 to 12 weeks. And again, this includes all the waiting time for, I give them a week once I give them like a first draft of a design to have meetings with their team, provide feedback, that sort of thing. So all of that is factored into the 8 to 12 weeks, which is, I'd say that's pretty standard in the industry. If anything, it's a little bit faster than usual.
Yeah, yeah. And we actually spoke last time we spoke, I think it was last week, about how your process has changed from when you originally started to now. Would you mind sharing a little bit of that with everyone today?
Yes, absolutely. So, at the beginning, I made the mistake being absolute perfectionist and holding everything to my chest before I shared anything, like making sure it's absolutely perfect. I had the whole branding, like guidelines all written out and done before I'd even shared with them, like the color scheme, the logo, anything. And I very quickly learned to share like piece by piece, kind of drip feed them almost design. So now I start with like, here's a mood board. Do you like the mood board? Like I try and get actual like sign off at every single step. Otherwise I get to that and then they're like, "Oh, we're thinking actually maybe a different direction." I'm like, well, okay, so I have to do the whole process again. So yeah, it's best to share the process rather than like disappearing for a couple weeks and then like sharing them the final product. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. I've got some experience from one of the companies I used to work for, and we'd given them like a requirements and directive, and it was kind of just to be completely different to what we have as a product and completely different branding. So it's clear that this is just another product and, different market and audience. But when they came back to us, the whole team was kind of like, "Oh, this is not exactly, what we originally meant by be different." And I think if you don't have like the weekly check-ins, then,
Yeah.
you can end up ruining the relationship. And obviously both parties don't want that either because,
Yeah.
when someone you want it to be the results that, you were envisioning. But when it's a creative project as well, I guess you've really got to, you know what I mean, be
Yeah.
clear, have those check-ins with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. It's either like ruining the relationship or you end up doing a lot more work than you need to do, like putting in double or triple the amount of hours that you kind of, scheduled for the job. So, yeah, definitely sharing is very important. And also, as well, like, it's not that, like, either side made a mistake, but it's one of those things where you have to tread lightly because clients think they know what they want at the start. When it comes to it, they might change their mind. So you kind of just have to give a bit of breathing room for that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So, I remember when we originally spoke, you kind of shared some details about like a defining moment in your career, and was with BlackRock, your experience with BlackRock. So, could you please like kind of just share for people hear names like big names like BlackRock, but they don't have a clue about the work process or what it's actually like for like working or collaborating with a company of that size.
Yeah, so Rock is a really interesting one because I started my career out as a software engineer. So I was just coding. I got to have a taste of UX design at BlackRock actually, which was amazing. Yeah, they kind of just looked at the dev team and was like, right, who's creative? We need some product design. And I was like, I'll do it. So I got to do that and work with like a lot of different stakeholders of that. And I found that I just enjoyed it so much more than coding. And then, yeah, I tried to transition into like a UX role. Now, the issue came when I I just struggled with a 9 to 5 job. This was pre-COVID. I'm just going to say that. So before COVID, it was in the office at 9 a.m., 5 days a week. And yeah, in winter, you leave your house and it's dark. You come home and it's dark. So you really feel this like sense
Yeah,
of like, yeah, like where is my life going? And yeah, just became very unhappy with how restrictive it was. I think it suits a lot of people, but for me personally and how my brain works, I crave a lot more creativity, a lot more flexibility in my life. So I don't want to like talk down 9 to 5 jobs or anything because I think like, they're I know a lot of people like my sister does very well in a 9 to 5 engineering job. She's extremely happy. And I think now it's a lot better because I think working from home is more accepted since COVID. So maybe that was a silver lining of the pandemic. So I think, yeah, 9 to 5 is great. But for me personally, I didn't like it so much. And the decision to leave a big company like that is huge, obviously, because I had people saying to me, like, you got that position at BlackRock, you're set for life. All these things like, if you leave, you're never going to make as much money as that. And, it was the fancy job in the big city.
yeah,
And, it's like you can't really get any bigger than BlackRock. So it was difficult having a lot of people telling me I'm making the wrong choice, but ultimately I did it. And then 3 months later, COVID hit. And I was like, it was a very difficult time, to be honest with you, but I persevered and came out the other end. And now
that's
here I
great.
am. I'm very, very happy that I made the decision. So even through doubt of myself and other people, I think like you just have to do what's right for you and you'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's really interesting as well because I know a lot of people, probably 80% of people I know would, you know what I mean? Because it's the big title and
Yeah.
the company and, the benefits and compensation package.
Yeah.
It's like, me and you feel like you've arrived. Like that's the thing, you know what I mean? That you were always thinking about. But then in reality, when you've actually achieved that and then this is like your reality every day,
Yeah.
and it makes you like, you know what I mean, be a bit more like introspective about like, actually, is this what I want in my life? And we kind of talked about that off camera before about like design and like your lifestyle, and your like work life balance. And that's something that you've really like pursued and been able to travel the world with, haven't
Yeah.
you? With your role, and now you're in Dubai, is it?
I am, yeah. So it's been amazing to be fully remote, to be honest. It means been able to move to a sunny country, which is fantastic. Yeah, travel the world. I can spend time in Italy. I've spent time in Bali, Dubai, all these amazing places I've been able to travel and see without having to sacrifice or worry about, um, you know, my annual time off. Like really exist for me. I don't have to ask for anyone's permission to go on holiday, to see
Yeah,
family, to do whatever it is that I want to do with my life. So I've got full control over that, which feels amazing. But it's not like it's an easy thing to get to. It's been hard to get to this stage. It's been many, many years to get to this stage. But yeah, it's definitely, I don't regret my decision of pursuing my own path and business. It's definitely been very, very good for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. One of my friends actually, Danielle, she worked for Jaguar Land Rover, and she done the apprenticeship scheme for like an engineer, and or I think it was the grad scheme. And then anyway, so she does this for a couple of years, and then she thought, I don't really like this, and she ends up becoming like a travel blog influencer. And,
Amazing.
and now she's absolutely smashed it. She's got like over 100,000 followers.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Got invited to go to Japan for 2
Wow.
weeks, and, like, they closed off
Amazing.
Universal Studios for, like, the day and stuff, and all these different things, and the people that she's meeting now, and it's just like, that is just, you know what I mean? For her, that's perfect, that job, because she's getting to see so many different places around the world, and it's like, actually, that is her job, you know what I mean? She gets paid to go to
Yeah.
Italy. It's like,
I love
yeah.
that. That's great. I love to hear like success stories of people where they did make that decision to leave and then they're just like living their best life now. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I know, honestly, yeah. It is great. It's amazing what you can do now. But I'd say also there is like a downside to people that when you are by yourself, like because you're a self-employed then, and it's you know what I mean. It's up to
Yeah.
you to make sure
Yeah.
you've got a healthy pipeline of opportunities, because and also it's like even if you get sick as well, then if you're out the game for a week or two, then you know what I mean. Who's gonna
Yeah.
work while you're gone?
Absolutely. Being sick is not good at all. Also, to be honest, holidays, I'm don't really take any. I know I just said like about holidays, but like actual when I'm traveling, I'm working at the same time. But I don't feel like I need a week off or 2 weeks off because, for example, if I'm working and I'm like, oh, I really don't feel like working today, I just won't. Like so
Mm,
having that flexibility is, instead of like, oh, I have to grind and struggle my way through until my 1 week holiday. Instead, it's just like I am more like flexible with it. I listen to my mind and my body as well. And I'm like, if I'm too burnt out, I will like calm things down. And that is reflected in the amount of work I take on too. Like instead of just taking on more than I can chew, actually like we'll say no to opportunities or I'll schedule them later so that I'm prioritizing my health as well. Like I used to be that type where I would pull all nighters, I would just work myself into the ground. And yeah, I think as I'm approaching my 30s, I don't want to do that anymore. Like your priorities just change,
yeah,
I think.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting what you said about, that you'll turn work away now, because that's really like valuable and good to know, because I think with some people as well, or with a company that is looking to hire either your services or someone else's, they want to know that, it's not as soon as you sign the contract that you just outsource the
No,
require.
I won't do that. I can't do that.
Like, it's not like you're just literally just trying to sign as many contracts as possible and then just, completely outsource it all. You're kind of the CEO who doesn't really do it. You know what I mean? You've just outsourced,
Yeah.
because then the quality will just obviously it's not, you know what I mean, to the standards that you would normally have. And
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, yeah, I'm not there to just like, for me, I would say it's not about like the money for me. It's about like the craft itself. Like, I would take projects that I actually believe in and I really want to do, which I think is ultimately like, that's how I define success is like
yeah,
having a flexible lifestyle where you're happy and you feel satisfied and fulfilled in what you do. And if I was forcing myself to work on projects that I don't really want to do, or working with clients that are difficult, I wouldn't enjoy that. So instead, like, you got to protect your peace. Like, I'm so big on that. Like, Protect your
Yeah.
energy, protect your peace. Yeah, for me, that is how I would define success, is like feeling
Mm.
fulfilled and not overworked. And then
Yeah.
having the flexibility as well to do that is, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. One topic that I wanted to kind of talk to you about is because you've got quite a bit of experience in, being a founder and running your own show basically. What's like some of the top mistakes that like ruin growth when founders like try to do it all? Is there any that you could share or some insights that you've got from you or your partner?
Yeah, definitely. In terms of what I see the most actually, and this is where most of my clients specifically come from, is not choosing to invest in design early on, for example. So a lot of people will try and DIY like a brand or a website or whatever it is, or they'll even try and like get someone on Fiverr to do it, or, something like that. A lot of my clients are people that tried that at first and then have not really got anywhere with it. They're not happy. They can see and understand that it's not professional and it's having a negative impact on their customers or clients. And then they come to me and they're like, messed up. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. And like, then I have this mess to work with. But instead, once they've done that once, if it's a serial founder that I'm working with, next time they straight away will come to me and they won't bother trying to like save some money somewhere on that. So yeah, I'd say a big pitfall is not investing in design. And I've also seen companies and businesses failing and not getting where they should be because of bad design. Because now in this world of AI, they're like, oh, this AI can just do it in 2 minutes. And it's sure, but what you're getting isn't very good. Like nothing can replace
Yeah.
like this skilled work that needs creativity and personality and a human touch.
Yeah. You don't just provide templates, basically.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. So we kind of just touched upon it then, like major shifts that you're seeing in like your industry. And like, have you tried or seen any work from like the platforms like Replit, Lovable that are available now? It is really impressive. And
Yeah.
I've still yet to try, but I've seen some people build like apps.
Yeah, I've had a go with Replit and Lovable, both of them, and I'm just like, I was so excited because I was like, if what people are saying online is true, like this is amazing. I was so excited to try it out. And then I was so disappointed because I was like, oh, it's just faster for me to just do it myself. Like trying to communicate with the AI and get it to understand you and like I'll try and like, select this button. I'm like, make this hex code and it's just and then it center aligns everything. I'm like, what? Like it's not where it should be. Like people like it's going in a great direction and I'm very, hopeful for the future. But right now where it is, it's not replacing people. It's like you still
Yeah.
need to be able to code and I have to jump in and like change stuff. And even then I can't get it to like a working version very easily for the complexity that of things that I create anyway. For something very, very simple, sure. But yeah, for more complex things where you've got, like a back end and APIs to link and all sorts, like it gets a bit too confused right
Yeah.
now.
I think, yeah, definitely. I was speaking to this guy called James, and he's like a consultant for startups. He does like a sort of like fractional chief revenue officer sort of role, sales leader.
Cool.
He was telling me about that. He thinks though it's really great for like this sort of use case where like say someone like me, if I had like a SaaS idea and I wanted to just build it and then pitch it to a technical team and be like, this is
Yeah.
the vision, this is thinking about, that will actually shave off like 2 months of like, even 2 months as a minimum of like brainstorming,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That sort of period when you're trying to communicate your ideas to the tech team. And because for a non-technical person, that can be
Yeah.
very frustrating for the tech people.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? We might say something, but you know, you can say yes or no, like that's possible, that is not possible.
It's more for MVP use and not final product.
And so what would you say is like Cultura's like differentiator right now? as like a, if someone was going to choose you as opposed to a bigger web development agency?
It's the what's the word? The level of detail that we put in and the level of care. Often with these big agencies, you're just going to get like handed over to maybe even a junior designer who's working on like 10 projects at once. We take on like one, two, three maximum at a time. And each one is like, I'm involved in all of them. And it's leave like no stone unturned, if that makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
very, very like detail oriented about these things. So I would say the level of care and the level of quality as well that I supply to my clients. I can share a couple of, um, I think you're going to ask me this in a little bit, but I'm jumping ahead there. I have a couple of like one success story from a recent client, which
Uh,
has been
Okay.
great. So recently, I launched Pepper Agency's new website, which is an influence marketing business. And it is a 4-time award winning website. So we won Best Innovation, Best UI, Best UX, and Special Kudos Award. So it's been very, very well received. So that is just for visual, right? But then it goes beyond visual, this success part, because the stats, like I look into everything. So accessibility, website performance, SEO, best practices. So all of them scored, I think performance scored 97%, accessibility 93%, best practices 100%, and SEO 100% on page speed insights. And to get those kind of scores, I go through like everything has to be perfect. And I really do go through so much level of detail, so much time into these websites that a lot of big agencies won't bother with. Like the state of their previous website, these scores were a lot lower. For example, for performance, we had a 47% increase in performance. Yeah,
No
yeah,
way.
whatever. So we've almost, yeah, it's been really good with that. Then what else? Search engine audit they did. They told me that most companies score under 50 and we scored 170 out of 180. So it's really hitting these things. And I'm just super proud of this website. Like, I really put a lot of care into it. It also received impressions in 1 month, all organic. That is just from the SEO, all organic, which is, yes, we're very happy. They are very happy. They often tell me they give a lot of compliments on their website. So that's a big one for me.
It's great. Are you going? Have they gave you any like sort of referrals after?
Yeah, they have actually. Yeah. So I get a lot of business through word of mouth actually. So yeah, a lot of people are coming to me now just purely based off of that website and the awards that it's won. And that's why people choose Cultura, I think, is that they know that they're not just getting something that looks amazing. It also performs really well too. It's going to have impeccable SEO. It's going to be use all the best practices. It's going to be lightning fast. I don't just chuck stuff on a page or template it out. It's a lot of detail and care that's put into it.
Yeah. So I actually read on LinkedIn recently, and obviously this is your expertise, so you can correct me if I'm wrong here. But SEO, and then there's GEO, generative engine optimization with
Yeah.
like GPT, perplexity. Is that like a new category then that you will have to, add to your services, or, check that to make sure that they're scoring properly? Like,
Yeah,
how does,
so they're actually linked. So to have
okay.
a good GEO, you have to have good SEO, and Pepper as well also scores really well for GEO also. So they come up as like one of the top hits where if someone will search, I need an influence marketing company, they will like the generative AI will pull
Mm,
up Pepper because the website is so good.
yeah. Yeah, and I think it's like 1 billion people now use ChatGPT
Yeah.
product, and it's only like a really small percentage are actually paid users, like just what single digits. And I was listening to Daniel Presley. Have you heard of Daniel Presley before? The
No.
He's so good. I'll have to send you some of his stuff later, but he's always on Stephen Bartlett's podcast. I think he done an episode with Chris Williamson, and he was basically his prediction is that what they're doing right now is just accumulating as many users as possible to be frequent users and have the mind share to, when they want to search for something, to go and search ChatGPT instead of going on Google or like Bing or some other alternative. And basically, they're waiting until they hit like a specific number, and then they're just going to turn on ads, and then they would become like the next,
Wow.
you know what I mean, the next like search engine. And
Wow.
interesting take to think about, because he was basically saying like, obviously they've got so much investments, ridiculous amounts, and they're actually at a loss right now. They're not profitable because
Really?
they're spending so. I think they're spending ridiculous amount, like 40
Yeah,
billion.
I'm not surprised.
They're at like 15 to 20 billion revenue, I think. If they've only got a single digit, or say it's 10% or whatever paid users, how can they get everyone to, through their active
Yeah.
be feeding the revenue and funding it in different revenue streams such as ads? And he basically said though, for anyone who runs ads, he thinks that'll be like a golden era, because what they'll do is just split, like, to host an ad on their platform, it would be like half the price of like Google, Meta. And that's quite an interesting take, because it's
Yeah.
like there will be an upside, because it could bring the prices down for everyone,
Yeah.
for any, to be in front of your consumer. But be interesting to see what, how that works out.
It is, yeah. It's really interesting how people's behaviors for searching for things is changing. I'm seeing it in like, yeah, people close to me, like their first thing is to go for ChatGPT over Google now, which is really it's a really interesting shift that we're all going through. I think very tech people do it, but I think a lot of people are still more like Google over
Yeah.
ChatGPT. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going in that direction for sure.
Yeah, definitely. My dad, for example, he's 71 and he uses ChatGPT to search.
No way!
Yeah, yeah.
My gosh, that's
Funny, yeah.
amazing.
Definitely, definitely catching on to everyone now.
That's incredible. Did you show him ChatGPT?
But my brother did.
Brilliant.
But now, if we ever have a debate or any talk, you know what I mean? That's the source of reference.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad's got into it as well. He was asking me the other month for my API token for my ChatGPT account. So he's a software developer, so he's like plugged
Really?
ChatGPT into his like crazy system that he uses. But yeah, everyone's using it now.
Yeah. Have you, speaking about these like different workflow connectors, like, and I think it's Make is another one
Yeah.
in Zap. Have you used them before? Do you find them to be really good? Like, what's the best software out there from your experience?
I would say I use Make the most. I'm really enjoying Make. I think price wise it's really good as well, and there's a lot of flexibility to like add more, like scale up and scale down in terms of credits that you're using, and it integrates really well with Webflow too. I just use like webhooks, and I've used it for a couple of projects to automate, for example, a voting system for an awards website, and it's just very robust and automated. It works. It's reliable. I think these platforms are fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's also OpenAI. They released their version of it recently, and I was reading on LinkedIn, someone was saying about how obviously it does have its benefits. However, if you don't want to be, it's kind of following what Apple does, where everything's within like the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah,
It's like their version of that. It's like their moats they're building now.
they are.
So unless you want to be, within that mode and have to use ChatGPT as opposed to like Perplexity or another alternative that's out there, then you know what I
Yeah,
mean for that. But if you want to have different tools and it all not to be within the same company's products, then that's where
yeah.
it has downsides. But yeah, it's interesting to see.
It is. Are you using ChatGPT? What's your favorite one?
Yeah, yeah, I use that, but then for research, I'd probably say Perplexity, to be honest.
Okay.
Using that recently, it seems to be they're both really good, obviously, but yeah, I do find Perplexity to be quite the results are a little bit different sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm yet to use the workflow builders for OpenAI. I've played around with N8N, but I'm not like very technical at all. But I'm just really interested in all the different platforms, and I use AI tools that are like they're already built and they're ready just to use. Just kind of to wrap up for today, I was wondering what's like your focus for the next 12 months? Is it to acquire new customers, or is there a new offering or, that you have available or in the pipeline?
Yeah, that's a really interesting. I'd say maybe go for the bigger fish for clients. I think like I'm ready to kind of like build something a bit bigger with a bit more impact. I'd love to be part of a project like that. And then another avenue as well is I'm actually pursuing some e-commerce business as well, and I would like to expand my property business also. So for these two, I also use my design skills quite a lot. For example, with e-commerce, I love e-commerce. So like creating the brand, the website, the whole customer experience, the product itself. I find that I love it. I absolutely love it. Even like social media posts for it, like I really, really do enjoy that. It's nice as well to work with something that's more physical because obviously with Cultura, everything I do is digital. So to be able to create a product that I can like hold in my hand is like an amazing feeling. And then for property, I have an Airbnb, and I've managed to find success with that through purely through design. So looked at it from like a UX standpoint, like how can I create the best user experience in the house? So that's down to where things are placed, things that I provide for my guests, even like the design, actual design of the house. I did renovate it too, so all of that, and the like welcome book and all of that. Those like design things has led to becoming a super host and a lot of five-star reviews. And a lot of people say that they love these different elements of the house. Like, it's just basic things. To me, this is just like common sense. Like, what would I want from an Airbnb? What would stand out to me? And that's including toiletries, right? Like
Yeah,
shampoo, conditioner, body wash. That should be basic. But I can't tell you how many Airbnbs I've been to where there's not even like toilet paper. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's so disappointing. But I'll also provide like toothpaste and toothbrushes because these are things that people might forget. So all of these little details, making sure there's salt, pepper, oil in the kitchen, coffee pods, tea, like, so they have everything. Like they move in and they feel like they're home. So that's I'm very interested in user experience. That's basically what I do.
yeah, that's so interesting. So is that in London, your property?
Yes. Yeah.
How is it that you because you'll obviously have to have like systems in place to fill and clean the property after every customer. So how do you do that? Do you have like a
I have an amazing, amazing woman that I work with, and she is just so fantastic at going in after every guest checkout and making like she'll reset the house and clean and like wash everything. And yeah, she's really, really fantastic. I've been with her for like a couple of years now and never had any issues. She's incredible. She's great. And she's one of those like starting her own business as well for cleaning and housekeeping. So yeah, she's great. She's really great. And yeah, so I have like this little team around me that help me with all these things. Like I have
yeah?
my assistant Lisa who helps me write proposals and talk to clients and social media posts. And then I've got the property team and all of that stuff. It's good to have different people to work with.
That's great.
Stops me from feeling lonely. I don't feel lonely at all. Like I talk to so many people.
Yeah, definitely. I know because that's one of the potential downsides of working for yourself is, if you don't have like a team or, the typical office setting, then
Exactly.
it could be
Yeah.
lonely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, you can change that. You just got to have a good team around you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I seen actually it was on Instagram, it's funny. This guy, obviously self-employed consultant, and he put just at the Christmas office party, there was just him by himself, like having a pint.
Oh no. Oh, I love that though. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta have an office party in your own house.
Yeah, it's funny. Also, actually, we didn't really speak about it, but you've actually got some used to be quite a YouTube content creator influencer.
Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah. YouTube, I used to do Disney covers.
Are you gonna start that back up again or reboot the platform?
Yeah, I am thinking about it actually because I do feel like I've been traveling and all around for a couple of years now, so I feel like I haven't really had a proper space to create content again. But now that I've got my office is on its way, you can see I've got some frames down here. I'm planning something very exciting for this wall. But yeah, once that's all done, I do think I want to get back into it because I feel like I have a lot of knowledge that I've learned with setting up a business and trying those different industries as well. Knowledge that I can share with people. And I hope that I can inspire them as well. Like if they're unhappy in their current situation, to be sort of like, look, I've made this work and you can do it too, kind of thing. Yeah, I think I would like to change my YouTube from music to more like, yeah, providing knowledge, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds cool. Well, yeah, after the call, you could send me the link and then I can include that into the episode for everyone to check out.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for your time today, Adele, and I look forward to speaking with you again. So yeah, I'll see you soon.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Joe. Great to chat with you.